Hey everyone, today we are working on slope and doing a review on how to find slope from a table and from a graph. So we're going to start with from a table. So all you have to do is remember your slope formula, which is change in y over change in x. So then you just have to pick two coordinates over here. All you have to do, I'm going to pick the 1, 5 and the 4, 14, just so that way I don't have to deal with negatives. So you find the change in y, so 14 minus 5 over your change in x, which is 4 minus 1. And you get 9 over 3, which is simplified to 3. So you know that the slope for this table is 3. For the next one, there's no avoiding negatives, so you just have to remember the order that you're doing things in. So I'm going to pick these first two here. So we're going to start with our change in y, which is negative 2 minus 2, and negative 1 minus negative 3. So with here, make sure you remember your integer rules. So you end up with negative 4 over 2, which simplifies to negative 2. And for this last one, I'm going to pick these two, 2, 0, and 4, 1. So we're going to have 1 minus 0 and 4 minus 2. Which you end up with 1/2. So your slope is 1/2. So now we're going to move on to our graphs. So it's really important with graphs that you look at where the line crosses over on the grid's corners perfectly. So even while this one here looks like it's 1/2, you don't know for sure. So you always want to make sure that it's perfectly on the crosshairs. So for graphs, you can either continue to use your slope formula, change in y over change in x, or you can use the rise over run method, which I will do both of those for these. So for the slope formula, I'm going to pick these 2 points here. This point is 0, 1. And this point is 1, 3. So our change in y is 3 minus 1, and our change in x is 1 minus 0. So we end up with 2 over 1, or just 2 for our slope for that one. For this one, again, it's really important to make sure that you're looking at the crosshairs. So I'm going to pick this point and this point. This one is 1, 2, and this one is 5, 5. So if we do our change in y, we have 5 minus 2 over 5 minus 1, which ends up with 3 over 4, which we can check by doing our rise of 3 and our run of 4. For this next one, it's given our coordinates here. So our change in y is 10 minus 4, and our change in x is 3 minus 0. So we're left with 6 over 3, which simplifies to 2, which is the same as 2 over 1. So for our rise over run method, we go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and it works every time. So then finally, for this one, we have these 2 points. We have negative 5, 5, and we have 5, 5. Now I want you to try and find the slope here pause the video and try to find the slope on your own, and then unpause the video and watch to see if you got it right. So for this one, your change in y is going to be 5 minus 5, and your change in x is going to be 5 minus negative 5, which you end up with 0 over 10, which is equal to 0. Now that doesn't mean that this slope is undefined. It means you have a slope of 0. An undefined slope is if this slope ended up being something like 10 over 0, because you can't divide anything by 0. So an undefined slope is actually something that's vertical like this, but a horizontal slope is okay. And that's it for today.